Let's welcome in former Naval JAG officer and constitutional attorney, Don Brown. So, Don, you should know the answers to every one of my questions, and here they come. The census happens every 10 years, right? And it's used in part to ensure fair representation in Congress. But can the president order a census whenever he wants? And could that census be used to then redistribute congressional seats?
Well, thank you, Rick. Now, there's nothing anywhere in the Constitution or in the Census Act, first passed in 1790, to prohibit the president from ordering a census at any time. Now, it is contemplated that the rebalancing of the Congress is every 10 years. However, this goes back to the 14th Amendment, where the original intent of the census clause there, which says it states that a number of elected representatives or representatives in Congress shall be determined by the number of persons in each state. And here's the key: excluding Indians who are not taxed. And so the 14th Amendment granted citizenship to slaves. Indians at that time were non-citizens. So the 14th Amendment said that the Democrats want to argue that persons means everybody. No, the 14th Amendment excluded the non-citizens of the United States. That is primarily American Indians at the time. It's been turned on its head, very much like the Citizenship Clause that allows anchor babies. If you look at the original intent, the president is on mark when he's ordering the Commerce Department now to recount based upon only American citizens. I think he's constitutionally correct based upon the history of the 14th Amendment.
So when it says, the Constitution, specifying that the count should include all persons residing in each state, that would suggest Trump's plan to not count illegals would be found unconstitutional. But you're saying there is language to support it.
Goes to the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment, Section 2, all persons residing in the state, excluding Indians who are not taxed. You have to read the Constitution in its whole context. It excludes Indians not taxed. At that time, Rick, Indians were the largest number of non-residents or non-citizens in the United States. They were excluded from the census because, under the 14th Amendment, slaves had just been granted citizenship. So the Indians and non-citizens were excluded. Now, that's been turned on its head by the left over the years. But Trump is making the argument that if you go straight back to the historical context and the language, even of the 14th Amendment, Section 2 today, that it is to exclude non-citizens of the United States. Persons means citizens of the United States under that context.
Okay. Well, Don Brown, I appreciate you clearing up some of these constitutional questions. Based on recent history, I still see a court fight ahead over this one. But thank you again for being with us.
My pleasure. The court fight is coming. Thank you, Rick. Good to be with you tonight.